Hi everyone, my name is Amy DiPlacido and I'm the curator of exhibitions at San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles. Thank you so much for joining us. Today my guest is Badri Valian. Badri Valian graduated from Fine Arts University in Iran with a BA in Visual Arts. She taught art history in Iran for 15 years and was awarded for her creative work in painting before moving to the United States. Her work has been exhibited in Seyhoun Gallery in LA and recently at Art Ventures in Menlo Park, California, presenting herself as a performance artist working in painting, installation, and video. Badri has also climbed Mount Klimanjaro, been to Everest Base Camp, and explored several other mountains in the Himalayas, where she draws inspiration from in her artistic practice. Badri is the 2022 recipient of the Santa Fe Art Institute Revolution Residency and joined SJMPT in February for our Art After Dark series, showcasing her project career. Hi, Badri. Thanks so much for joining me.
Hi, Amy. Thank you for having me in your interview.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm hoping to see a little of your work today. Do you mind showing us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, and what's happening here?
Yeah, this is the photo I took it with my Sherpa at the summit of Kilimanjaro in Africa. Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa, and during my expeditions, I had a chance to climb Kilimanjaro. He is my Sherpa, actually the great companion to climb Kilimanjaro. Well, during my expeditions, I learned that how people they would like to carry their favorite scarf or gloves with themselves while challenging with a very cold weather while climbing high altitude mountains. So Kilimanjaro is not an easy and is very cold mountains. So we had to prepared with a very high technology designed outfit like gloves, shoes, boots, everything. But I when I was in the summit, I noticed that beside all the high technology outfit and equipment I'm carrying to protect myself,
So, Badri, what's going on in this picture?
Well, good question. Here, I'm in Nepal, in Kathmandu. My first trip, and then I was walking around in the city, just be prepared for the our expedition, which was um, um, a single mount in the circle of Everest, was called Island Peak, and then in our itinerary we were supposed to climb up to Everest Base Camp, not to the summit. We just touched the base camp, and here I am in a very traditional textile fabric store. And then I remember in this store I learned about pashmina. Well, I noticed a lot of people they're selling pashmina in a touristy area in Kathmandu, but then here this is the pant I was trying, and I was so fascinated with the style of the pant, and that is why I took the picture. I'm not sure if I purchased it, but here is the location I learned more about pashmina. This one belongs to one of my trips in that area, east of Iran, in Khorasan, that after the exploration in the nature we ended up in a very little town, and our host, well, the house we are spending time, it was kind of like a very Airbnb, but back in my country. So the host, she was a professional dress designer for the local people. And then she had this dress she had ready, and designed it. It was ready for the customer. And I was so fascinated with the colors, with the design, with everything.
So Badri, what's going on in this picture?
Oh, this picture. Believe it or not, in this picture, I'm about like 1 hour far from the Everest Base Camp. It's cold, as you see, it's so windy, and we are surrounded with the mountains like um, 35,000 feet or something. They look very short, but believe me, they are higher than 30,000 or so. And here I am with my Sherpa. And again, I just wanted to share this picture because of two reasons. The scarf, I lay there, I realized that beside the every outfit I was prepared for, I was carrying this scarf, the red one, by myself, just to feel more comfortable. The one which was carrying a lot of history from my hometown, my family, and and I had this scarf around my neck for the whole trip, which it took more than a month. The other reason is all the colorful flags behind me, which the colors are a symbol of like Himalayan, a lot of things. When you go to the yoga center, you do yoga, you see flags. When you are in Himalaya, you see them. It just gives you a lot of peacefulness and warm colors, specifically when you are surrounded with ice in Himalaya. It makes you more warm, makes the atmosphere more friendly. We are freezing here, but still smiling because we are happy with the energy of the nature. And I believe colors, they help us to be more sustained and entertained in our expedition, which is honestly is not easy. Expedition in Himalaya is not easy. It's very freezing.
I can imagine. But it's such a beautiful juxtaposition. You have these beautiful mountains behind you, but then you have the warmth of the fabric and the flags right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the idea came to my, beside all the projects, when I decided to call women to contribute one of their used bra if they ever face to sexual harassment. Um, so I called women through different channels and networking groups, and then within 6 months, I received about 300 bras in my PO box. And then I was planning to I had all the sketches of the concept, the 3D concept. I was planning to set it up. It was kind of like high technology into the concept, to have a sound, music, motion detector, many things was in my sketching, and I was hoping to do the concept, to make it real, until we faced to the COVID-19, the lockdown. It hit everyone, and I was trapped in my art studio with the idea and my urge and my determination to make the concept to be something visible through a 3D concept, and um, the lack of tools, because everything was closed, stores were closed, I didn't have access to anything. I was locked like everybody else. Then I decided to um, make up the project. The initial idea, which was very like high tech designed, I decided to make it more simple, but make sure during the lockdown I work on this project. And that is how This 3D concept came out through the COVID-19 lockdown. As you see, a lot of fabrics are involved in the textiles, and I try to use about half of the bras I received from the women, and the rest are the clothes I was supposed to donate it to the Goodwill, but I decided to turn it back to my studio and use it as the part of the concept. You can see a lot of different um, clothes in there. Um, the only bra actually in this project, in this concept, which was based on the idea of the sexual harassment, I decided to only use my bra, the artist bra, as a very visible and complete image of the bra, as you see it in the center. And the rest of the bras, I decided to um, use them um, in some other part of the concept, not very visible, not as visible of the artist bra. Um, and that is why I decided to hide some of them um, between all another fabrics, or cut it off and split in um, to shaping the conceptual art. So as we go to the next images, I can talk more on detail about what happened during this project when I was spending days on my studio during the COVID-19, stitching every day, you know, designing, creating, until I made this 3D concept.
Yeah, and I'm really curious. You've now received 300 bras from victims of sexual assaults,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're asking them to cut a small hole for
yeah,
every time that they've been assaulted.
yeah.
Has anybody ever sent anything other than a bra to you, like maybe a note of thanks or a small memento, or is it usually just a bra in a package?
Well, a good question actually. Bra was the only thing I asked from women, because you know, back to the all the photos I already shared with you, talking about the scarf. Even when you travel, you carry something by yourself which has a memory of your past. Um, Actually, I called women to just contribute the used bra, because I wanted the bra to carry the memory of their body. And then they were supposed to cut it off like a coin shape for any sexual harassment event they remember. Well, as you see at the center of the image, the artist bra with 17 holes standing there, which each hole stands for a major sexual harassment. And believe me, um, many events are just kept in my mind, and they're not visible in my bra. I developed this concept during the COVID-19, and we are into the using gloves, putting on mask, and social distancing. So I just wanted to implant a few symbol of COVID-19 2020 in my 3D concept, um, as as a, as a something documented in our history in this project. So as you see the blue gloves on the left corner of the photo, I just use them as the symbol of COVID-19 in my project. And later, um, you see the legs of the chair I planted over there. I used two chairs in front of each other, you know, trying to keep the social distancing and considering people, an audience, when they come and visit this artwork, either in my art studio or any other venue, which I'm considering for the future, they just try to have a seat, spend time looking at the concept, and have a chance to talk to each other. The chair is part of the concept. Actually, used to be part of my studio. Then I decided to just sit it in corner of my concept to let the audience to have a seat and spend time to look at the project. Um, and in front of this chair, I planted the other one, trying to keep the social distancing and also to let people, when they sit in these two chairs, while looking at all the shredded combination of bras and fabrics all together, they might start a conversation together or share some interpretation they individually they have from the concept, to share it together. Just stripes of the bra are falling down, and I like the flow of these lines and the color, the yellow and green in the corner. Well, I'm very fascinated always with the colors. I like the combination of colors. As you see in my background, this is one of my very abstract paintings, and it gives me energy. I just wanted to share this photo as something very pleasant, and the also another angle of the concept, that during this period that I was working in this project, every day I spent hours in my studio stitching, you know, trying to design and developing the images for this concept. It made my mind very every day busy with the topic which is about the sexual harassment. And it was kind of like therapeutic for myself. And but later, when I talked with the people, you know, just they were coming and visiting this concept, they had the same feeling, to kind of watching it is sometimes is very painful, is at the same time it can be therapeutic, carrying stories. This angle is just about, this is my interpretation from this angle, as someone created this concept, is like when a woman faced to the sexual harassment, is like part of the body or her soul or a spirit is shredded, and it's not possible to return it back to the original image. So that is why we will see in the next photos that in this project I try to maintain and keep the original image of some of the objects, and I try to really, you know, destroy the original shape of the objects, keeping the originality image of the found object, or to decide to shred everything. The combination is obvious in this image. Actually, the pillow, the red pillow, I just try to keep it organic. Just the corners, I stitches the corners on top of it, but the little white balls, they were part of a scarf. And I decided to change their personality from a very long scarf to something little, like a bubble, or again, this is in the parallel of my idea about when the sexual harassment happens for females, or males. So what happens in their spirit? Do they ever heal and their inner side is getting healed, look like one before the event, or it never happens and like this scarf is gonna shred it or um, spread to some little things like what you see. So again, this is about what happens for someone when experience sexual harassment, and the new person which the experience how she can create a new image of herself in the society, in her family, with her um, self, um, uh, for herself individually. This is another example. By the way, these all pink stripes are hanging down from a tube. Well, the tube is another found object I found in my studio. Well, I have like 18 by 24 sketches, which when my collectors they go to my website and they purchase, I ship 18 by 24 paintings. I make them rolled in a tube and I ship them to my collectors. So I used one of the tubes as the body of this semi looking like a flower, and they are all hanging down from that tube. Beside that masculine shape on the right side, here came out very feminine, and I believe in these concept I used the more obvious part of the bras. Um, as you see, something like a vertebrae or digestive organs, they all came from the bras I received from the women. Well, and also at the top, at the spine line, you see the metal wires which implant in the body of the bras. Well, actually, this one is one of my favorite photos. Well, I'm in a discussion with a magazine, and we are discussing about this one or another one, which it has um, my figure in the photo, but I like this one. This is at the top part of that feminine concept with all the metal wires and well, you see the bras. I cut it off and use it some like spine, something at the center of the body. And I like because in the body I used the tomato gourds from my garden. So the circle image and the like a half circle of metals, the wires, they all stand for a very flexible and pleasant personality of a woman. Well, when I first received 300 bras, I was very engaged to sketching a concept to present different side of a woman, to express a beauty, anger, or passiveness, or something like a very um, like emotional, many different type of temper that a woman has to have. And then um, after COVID lockdown, when I didn't have access to all the tools I listed in my notebook, and I ended up with found objects and bras, I decided to make it very pleasant. So I would like to display the concept from San Francisco to the east, to have an opportunity to display in any state, in any museum, to have people and come and watch it or display it in virtual exhibitions, to make sure that um, my mission as someone who just experienced sexual harassment and wants to rise up more awareness about this topic has been succeeded to the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I can see how sitting in this chair would be a very cathartic exercise for you to be looking back on the work that you created, almost like summiting a mountain.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, thank you. I like that. This part, I see the footprint of revolution not only in this concept in my whole life forever. Well, back in my country, my generation, we are known as revolution generation, because we were born in the years of revolution in 1977. Actually, I was 2 years old, but the consequences of revolution, it really affected my generation life, our childhood, our adolescence, our youth, even the way um, we studied, we went to university, our marriage, our immigration. Um, Absolutely, it really it was effective, um, and during the revolution in Arab Spring, I was very touched by the events of revolution was happening like a domino in Arab countries. And later, women activists, they talked about the experiences and other women they had since many years in Tahrir Square. So I was very touched by the revolution, by its concept, and the sexual harassment. Then I decided to create this concept and call women to contribute their bras for this project. And thank you for asking. So the concept is very influenced by Tahrir Square in Egypt, Cairo, and it's called Tahrir, which is an Arabic word. And I think the best uh, trans- translated word in English, it can be liberty.
If anybody wanted to get involved with your artwork, where could they go and how would they send a bra to you?
Thank you for asking. Well, uh, if anybody is interested to contribute bra to my project, which is ongoing project, and still I need a lot of bras, they can reach to my website and through the contact us, just send me a direct message. Well, just find my first and last name in social media and everywhere with Badri Valian, and send me a direct message. I'm very open to visit if someone wants to show up in the studio and watch the concept, as well as if they want to contribute a bra. If they are not in this area in California, Bay Area, then they can ask for a PO box. I will share a PO box address with them, and they are more than welcome to mail it to my PO box.
Wow, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your artwork with us today. I know this was a deeply personal conversation for you and very personal artwork made as well. I'm hoping that you're able to be well during shelter in place.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the next iteration of this project.
Oh, thank you so much for having me in this interview and giving me a chance to connect with audience and express and explain my project. Thank you for giving me that opportunity.